Good afternoon, everyone. Jessica Blum, meteorologist Jessica Blum, here in the 1011 streaming studio alongside meteorologist Carmelo Lattuca. Wednesday, we've made it through the middle of this week.
Halfway there.
November 19th. How are you doing this afternoon?
Doing pretty good, pretty good. It's a little cloudy outside this morning, but sun's starting to peek through, so, ended up with a little bit of more sunshine maybe than expected.
Yeah, and we're leaning a little cooler, though, heading into the end of this week, and we've got reasons to talk about. A lot to discuss, really, this afternoon with what we're kind of looking at with going forward in time, really. But as you said, yeah, more sunshine poking out across the area. Can you tell us a little bit about what you're seeing, Carmelo, across the area, too?
Yeah, like I said, we had a little bit of cloud cover out there this morning, a little bit more filtered sunshine in Lincoln today. There's been a little bit of blue sky. Definitely more sun in northern and far western Nebraska. Valentine made it up to 60 degrees by the noon hour, so they're probably one of the warmer spots across the state currently, but a little bit more cloud cover further to the south and further to the east.
And that was after they've had a cool start to this week, northern Nebraska in the 40s.
Yes.
So I'm sure they're digging the 60s. I did hear from some of my friends out in western Nebraska that they are excited and are really looking forward to a chance for snow.
Oh, they're excited.
Yes, they are. I think a lot of western Nebraskans by this time of the year are like, where is my snow?
It's been a quiet start.
It has been a quiet
there's
start.
only been a few instances of snow anywhere across the state, so it's got to change at some point, right?
And that was largely in northeast Nebraska.
Yes.
But yes, we are seeing some filtered sunshine out there in Lincoln just past 3 o'clock this afternoon. We're a little warmer at the studio compared to the airport by a degree, but sometimes it can matter. So we love to show you that comparison. But south wind around 8 miles per hour is all. No higher wind gusts, really, for much of the state to talk about once we get to the winds.
And a full 10 miles of visibility. But as we'll talk about, that could change as we head into tomorrow morning.
I love that you pointed that out already. Temperatures across Lincoln are sitting in the lower 50s at this point. This is right around average, if not, it's pretty close. Seasonable for this time of the year.
A few degrees above. I think when we're within 5, I think it's seasonal or any time of year, really. But yeah, 51 degrees, I think the high, average high is at this time of year. So a little bit warmer than that.
And once we look at the state for comparison, you'll see those numbers that that Carmelo was talking about. Valentine, 67 degrees is one of the warmer locations away out in western Nebraska. For comparison, Tacoma, Hastings in the 40s at this point this afternoon.
Yes, and they started off, I don't know so much about Tacoma, but I know for sure central, southern, western Nebraska, they saw some low visibility this morning. So you're kind of just, it's like a big roadblock in front of you in terms of climbing to these higher temperatures. Just really fighting your way through to get to warmer readings, and we're just not seeing that out there right now. I mean, it's not too much of a difference between here and Lincoln, but upper 40s to low 50s, and then again, a lot more sunshine to the west. They're seeing 60s.
I'm smiling because we're going to have to talk about maybe some visibility issues, potential going into tomorrow morning, and maybe that has caused a few gray hairs for everyone back in the Severe Weather Center. So some things to talk about this afternoon.
Yes.
But yes, a lot of the state is trending warmer compared to 24 hours ago. Valentine's almost 30 degrees warmer at this point this afternoon. So a big leap in temperatures in the right direction if you're looking for more comfortable temperatures at this time of the year. We're even 8 degrees warmer here in Lincoln compared to this time yesterday.
I feel good. Yesterday this was 5 to 15 in the blue, and we thought it was going to flip. I didn't know if it was going to flip to 27.
I don't think I've ever shown this map this much daily. We've been showing this map daily just because of the flip-flops.
Wait till a powerful warm front or a cold front moves through and you get to that 30 to 35. It's your top graphic you start with.
The blue and the purples on the map, that's what we geek out over for sure. But winds are out of the south for a lot of us in central and eastern Nebraska, a little west to northwesterly breeze. In portions of the panhandle, you can see a little troughing feature out there. That's going to be our next front that's kind of moving through tonight into tomorrow morning.
Not a whole lot of impact from that.
No.
Our winds will shift out of the north tomorrow. We'll be a little bit cooler tomorrow, but is that as much of a reasoning due to the winds, the cloud cover, the fog? It's probably a combination of all three, to be honest with you. So that drops our temperatures back. So again, we talked about the up and down pattern, and that's going to continue the next few days.
Yeah, we do have a little bit of cloud cover over southeast Nebraska and some of the thicker cloud cover. Yes, yeah. Thicker cloud cover has moved off toward Iowa. So just kind of some filtered sunshine. A lot of northern and western Nebraska seeing some good sunshine. But as we talk about this frontal feature, we talk about some things into tomorrow. We're still not expecting precipitation till the end of this week. We're going to talk about some of that as well. But taking you forward in time, we're going to look at a couple models to show you the differences, because there is a wide range in solutions, not only for the next 24 hours, but as we go forward in time, even as we're still checking on next week and Thanksgiving plans. So we're going to take you through some of those changes into tomorrow morning. Carmelo, you want to lead us off talking about the HER going into tomorrow morning from tonight?
Yes, this is one of our short-term models, and we fast-forwarded through 10 p.m. this evening. Rain, I would say, is possible in northeastern Kansas. I think 99.9% of the state's going to stay dry. But our skies are going to clear, and that's very important because what you're seeing right there, that cloud cover, that looks like cloud cover redeveloping in southeastern Nebraska, that is actually fog. And you can tell it's fog, one, if it sticks around later into the day, but all that clearing you still see in Grand Island, Hastings, Columbus. So it's not cloud cover, it's fog that develops overnight tonight. So
it's behavior that we see on the models, and you can kind of see it just kind of flare up over certain areas, and then you'll see as we go forward in time.
It's hard to see this one dissipate because it will be mostly
but usually we do.
Usually it would exit. And we head into tomorrow afternoon, could start to see some rain out to the west, starting a little bit sooner maybe, but rain out to the west. Pretty quiet, I think, here in Lincoln through vast majority of the day tomorrow. I think we threw in a small 20% chance. We fast forward it one more time here, and you'll see why. As we get into the late evening hours, we're going to start to see some rain move in closer to Lincoln, and then really just developing. This is a huge shift towards the north compared to yesterday.
Yes, it is.
With some of our models of precipitation. Again, I don't think this is going to be heavy rain by any means, but certainly are we pushing farther to the north of I-80 as opposed to I-80 Nebraska-Kansas border compared to yesterday.
And you're seeing a lot more hints of some yellows and some oranges, so some more moderate rainfall, which would mean a lot more measurable precipitation in this rain event by the end of this week. This also isn't the best model to show you what kind of clouds we'll see through tomorrow, and that kind of factors into our forecast for a high temperature tomorrow, the fog, what kind of clouds we're seeing, and some of the behavior around that front. I don't think the winds are going to be very strong, but a northerly shift, and we've talked about back in the Severe Weather Center the sun angle at this time of the year. If you're not seeing a lot of sunshine for very long, that can very much factor into how much warming you're getting into the afternoon hours.
So I think the graph will show us a better visual.
Yes,
of
it
that
does.
Cloud cover,
You're right.
What type we are expecting to see, because I think there's a consensus in terms of the cloud cover at least. But clear skies overnight tonight. But the graph doesn't have as much fog.
It does
not.
not.
That's a huge thing tomorrow morning. If you see dense fog out there when you wake up, just realize that your temperatures are going to be cooler in the afternoon. If we don't, there is a chance we get into the upper 50s, if not right around 60 degrees. So it's a lot of disagreement with our short-term models. I will say we saw fog out to the west today. That was forecasted yesterday by the HER model. It's now forecasting it in eastern Nebraska. So I think
and pretty widespread and very across southeast Nebraska. I wouldn't be surprised if the National Weather Service later on tonight may issue some dense fog warnings or dense fog advisories like we saw last night for portions of central and south central Nebraska. So if you see that later tonight, that'll be something to kind of indicate that we're leaning toward cooler tomorrow.
Yes, absolutely.
Yes. But as you can see, the darker grays that you can kind of see are thinned out. Those are the high clouds we're seeing. The whites that show up pretty good in northern Nebraska, that's some thicker cloud cover, more likely some low-level cloud cover throughout the day. So as we're seeing more high-level clouds, this model is suggesting we would warm up more, but...
We would warm up more. It does increase the lowering of the clouds, those lower-level clouds throughout the day, but it's not a 7 a.m. to 4 p.m. scenario, so maybe we warm up enough before that finally moves in. So there's a lot of things fighting our temperatures tomorrow. I think it's going to be a struggle to get 60, I would say, is a long shot.
Yeah, that's probably off the table.
55 plus also, pretty good chance, more likely than not, that we're going to be in the low 50s. There's a chance we don't get out of the upper 40s. We're thinking low 50s, but I think 48 to 55 is a solid agreement, maybe.
It does seem like there's a lot more tomorrow that is going to work against our temperatures wearing out throughout the day. If we do not see the fog and you see more of those high-level clouds, probably enough to warm us up a few more degrees. So you're looking at a difference between, upper 40s, lower 50s to maybe middle and upper 50s. So we're going to put...
cooler to mild. I mean, nothing significant.
Yeah.
But in terms of Skycast through 10 a.m. Friday, doesn't really push the rain farther north. So you're not only seeing disagreements, your cloud cover, the fog, the temperatures, but also if we're going to start to see rain on Friday. So there's a lot going on over the next 24 to 48 hours.
And this is a good reason to point out why we are not talking about snow through Thanksgiving next week. We don't even know, and we don't have a good agreement a day or two out.
It's all cascading. It's like Plinko, one thing drops and then it hits another thing, and it cascades into all these different sort of scenarios. So think about something that we're forecasting 10 days out. It's got to hit so many little, things.
Exactly.
In
and how these events play out will affect down the line and how the pattern's overall moving. But as we look at the 7-day precipitation potential, this is maybe overdoing it a little. It's kind of in between the models.
So I think this is a combination of Friday and Monday. Because now we're chances.
Oh, you're right. We're talking about
Monday.
7-day here.
So I thought we'd show this in the in between because we'll show the Skycast for Monday in just a second. But, a lot more blue across southern Nebraska. But I think that's because we're getting hints of another storm system on Monday. So it's multiple rounds of rainfall. It's not going to be all one event. And this is what we want to show you. I think. Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
No, go for it.
I was just going to say quiet through the weekend. I don't even have a pause point through the weekend.
Dry.
Enjoy it.
Wonderful.
This will be one of the nicer weekends remaining.
Which my dad was, my family was stubborn. I talked about this last week. I was telling them this was your time to put up the Christmas lights. My dad was like, no, I'm going to enjoy the weather. And then maybe we'll put up the Christmas lights next weekend. So he did luck out.
We did.
And we're getting a pretty nice weekend again if you haven't done Christmas lights yet, or you're waiting until after Thanksgiving maybe. This does look like your better chance because we are going to get some colder temperatures, I think, by the end of Thanksgiving week. But as Carmelo mentioned, that next system by the end of the weekend and really into early next week comes to bring what
Mainly
looks like rain.
Yeah, I'm not concerned about snow in central and eastern Nebraska at this time. Maybe not even into western Nebraska. So looks like a rain event Monday. Temperatures still well above freezing for highs. And then this looks to exit Tuesday. So, a little soggy start to the work week. We're ending Friday with rain potentially. We're starting Monday with rain. Quiet over the weekend though. So really nice in between. But then we'll wait and see, especially over the weekend, what this can mean for our chances for precip later into next week.
So namely a couple of days in the near future, we're looking at rain potential Friday and Monday. We do need it. We are below average for the month of November. Not that this is a very wet month compared to the other ones. But temperatures tonight, now we're going to put numbers to what we've been talking about. Forecasted lows into tomorrow morning, dipping around freezing. Mm-hmm. And as we look at these numbers, I was looking at the dew point temperatures too. And they do suggest that we would be and have enough moisture in the air that we could see fog developing again tonight like we did this morning and expanding a little further.
Clear skies, light winds, dew points close to your temperatures.
Mm-hmm.
That's
a recipe.
Perfect recipe for some fog development.
And then we talk about the high temperatures that we've been hinting at. We have adjusted these. We were looking fairly warm through the middle of this week, at least closer to 60 degrees. But now as we look toward Thursday, we've got temperatures that are in the lower 50s at this point. And we've got meteorologist Bill Rentschler with some
I'm surprised he didn't come on
notes.
camera, to be honest with you.
I know. Do you want to?
Oh, he's coming back.
As well. Oh, let me move aside.
He's just handed us the forecast discussion. I believe that's what it is. Is that what it is? And there has to be some changing information, correct, Bill?
Overnight, visibility reductions are once again the main concern as the low-level profile moistens up behind the advancing cold front. This is the National Weather Service we're hearing from.
Forecast technical discussion.
Yes. Behind the front, where enough lift will be present for drizzle, while the prefrontal fog take on a more patchy look, relying on radiational cooling overnight.
But then if you read the last line of that paragraph, of that,
the one you didn't underline?
Yeah, I got too excited, so I didn't underline it.
Highs as of now are forecast to hit the 50s, but still a tick below previous forecasts.
Oh, and they say, I guess I should have said read the second to last line, that it will be a game of how much sun that we can see tomorrow. So
for the remainder of Thursday, low clouds and drizzle may be slowed to erode, making high temperatures a game of how much sun we will fill in behind the decreasing clouds, which we've talked about.
I did.
And I appreciate that.
Yeah.
And I was wondering, because our first indication of getting a cooler day tomorrow would maybe be dense fog advisories tonight, like we saw for central Nebraska last night, because it does look to be a little more widespread, and Bill's just confirming with the National Weather Service. I love the most recent.
We've been agonizing over this all afternoon, and so this
a little more confirmation.
feels good.
I feel a little better, Bill.
Well, I'll keep it. He wants me to keep it. Maybe
Fantastic.
gold star that for later. Appreciate the conversation. That was good. That was
is
good.
some.
We love
Yeah,
that.
normally we only get handed papers when there's like a
I know.
thunderstorm or tornado warning. So you get
That's
this
a good
discussion.
point.
Like, what is he about to show us?
I know he's got some good stuff cooking usually.
No,
and
I feel.
I knew it wasn't a severe thunderstorm
Oh, gosh.
warning like it was the other night, but you never know.
I feel a little bit more validated in the in the aspect of tonight.
We
There's
do.
still
We
a lot
do
of
love to
factors going
see.
into it, but that is a lot different than it was this
I
morning.
always love to look at who issued the forecast. Peterson. Okay, yeah.
All right.
Yeah, absolutely. So everything we just kind of talked about confirmed with some of our suspicions on low-level cloud cover and how quick that is to erode during the morning if we do see it. So that is why we're leaning cooler with temperatures tomorrow. High temperatures in the lower 50s, still seasonal, but we had at one point upper 50s for tomorrow.
Yes, and you see Hebron and you see Falls City, though, mid to upper 50s.
Mm-hmm.
I want to say, again, that is still possible. But
On
I
the edge
think
of some of the fog, maybe.
edge of the fog, if the fog
clears
lifts
quicker.
sooner, there's so many factors going into it. But maybe there's more upper 40s than what this map suggests. I think right now we're in the middle, and I like where we're at. 51, that's what we're going with for a high. That's right around average.
Which Carmelo did want to hint at the future visibility to show you kind of what we've been talking about behind the front and initiating before the front with fog features. This is one model that tends to agree with the graph, I think, a little bit more, hinting at some lower visibility just behind the front in northern Nebraska. But I think we could definitely see it with
Don't
the
be surprised
radiational
if that
cooling
yellow
in
and red
southeast
that you're seeing
Nebraska.
up to the north and northeast, that moves farther south. So, again, make sure, just stay tuned to the forecast. That's what, things change all the time.
This is
so.
why we got Brandon in the morning, too.
And Brad in
He
the
will,
evening.
of course, yes.
I
And
bet
Brad,
you watch Brad at
any
10,
updates?
and he's talking about dense fog advisories. It'll just speak volumes to what we're talking about now.
Absolutely. So then we go forward in time Friday morning with the rain chances. We're looking
warmer.
at temperatures, yes, a little warmer with the cloud cover and rain moving in. And again, that system looks to be primarily rain. We did look at that one model that may be trying to mix in a few flakes into the panhandle, but that's way far out west, nowhere near central or eastern Nebraska. Because you look at these forecasted highs, and we're supposed to get right around 50 degrees, if not a little bit cooler than that.
Absolutely. I think I don't think there's even a disagreement right now on cloud cover. It's going to be a cooler day. It could be a chilly rain out there, so make sure to stay bundled up, and cooler temperatures are on the way.
And this would kind of match our other colder day this week.
Yes.
Yesterday, yes. We got to 48. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then we look at the 7-day forecast, and yes, it looks like a very nice weekend. Back here at home, around 60 degrees by Saturday, 62 on Sunday. We've even put on the nice icon. I love to hear that
Me too.
discussion
The more
between you
words,
guys.
in my
Might as
opinion,
well.
the better. I love when we put words on the 7 days, but unfortunately, I think it's warranted because we haven't had too many cold days, but you're going from 62 to 41 and lows in the upper 30s to 28. Yes, it is trending colder towards
Yes, it
Thanksgiving,
is.
but only small chances for precip right now, Tuesday and Wednesday. But let's take a look at those 10-day forecasts, and they're going to tell a story. And man, this is just. I remember
This is
when this
showing
was
up
only
again.
one day this week.
Yeah.
And it was blue at the end, and now it's half the map because we're talking starting Tuesday, really though Wednesday into Saturday next week. And again, nothing too crazy, but
It doesn't
going from
shock me
60s
at
to
all.
30s. No, it doesn't shock me.
No.
either.
I mean, seeing colder temperatures around Thanksgiving, that seems like a usual
Yeah,
thing around
at least
here.
half the time.
I'm usually bundling up, with a winter coat as I'm going to the family Thanksgiving dinner. So, yeah, temperatures in the 30s for highs. I think we can expect that. And this is something, as we talk about, we don't love to look at precipitation this far out. Temperatures are a little easier to notice those trends farther out that we're looking cold. So we've seen the signal for a while, and it's still showing up there for the end of next week, really, and around the middle and end of next week. And then we talk about the precipitation chances.
Yes, so Friday, for much of the last 7 to 10 days when we've been showing this, has been one of the higher days, and it still is, a little higher though, especially central and western Nebraska. McCook, I think that's an 80%, 70% in Kearney. We're going 40 here in Lincoln. Almost nothing over the weekend, I think, and then Monday, again, those chances compared to yesterday have definitely shot up. But
They have.
into next Saturday, it's nothing too alarming.
No.
Which is what we want to see. I mean, I
Good
think
for
that
travel
Wednesday
around
to
Nebraska.
Saturday, Sunday, time frame is really the travel period. I mean, there probably could be some people traveling Monday, drive slower in the rain, but it certainly could be a lot worse. I know there's a 50% in O'Neill Saturday the 29th. I'm sure that's going to change 18 times before that gets to that day, but I'm not too worried at this point. It's
No.
similar to what we thought yesterday.
No, this looks really good. So let's go to the 8 to 14 day precipitation outlook. This is for Thanksgiving through December 3rd. And we still see the signal to lean above average, especially up toward Montana, western South Dakota, but really much of Nebraska as well.
Not
slightly.
as dark of green, though.
No.
Either. So this could be indicating the first few days of December maybe a little bit drier than what was once expected too, and maybe the end of November as well, because at one point it looked a little bit wetter. This a little bit colder, but
This is more
I think
widespread.
It's more, but look how far more north and east that bubble of darker blue is. You know, maybe that doesn't mean we get the brunt of this colder blast that
No.
looks to move in. And by mid 30s, you know, that doesn't really. I mean, yes, that's a cold blast compared to 60, but it's not.
We've just
frigid,
been
it's not
so
Arctic, you know?
mild lately,
Yeah.
and that 30s will feel a lot different,
Yeah.
and that's what this is kind of indicating. And I honestly, with these colors, I've always looked at it with like the lighter blues being a little bit closer to average, maybe slightly cooler. It's just, yeah, it is overall looking at your chances of being below average. When you're seeing darker colors, it's a
But-
better chance because we're more
And
confident.
how
in-
far maybe?
Yes,
you can
yeah,
go. I agree
yeah.
with that. I know that's not exactly what it is, but it's usually
It's a good way to interpret
Yes,
it.
absolutely.
But that's kind of what we have for this Wednesday afternoon. Of course, we're going to continue to take a look at the forecast. Be sure to tune in to Chief Meteorologist Brad Anderson for his shows this evening. Bill will also be on at 4 o'clock this afternoon with his latest thoughts, but Brad will have the latest going into tomorrow morning if you're thinking about fog impacting any part of your morning travel tomorrow. And then, of course, Brandon will be in the morning as well. But we always really look forward to these chats in the afternoon.
Absolutely.
Carmelo, I always appreciate doing this with
Of
you.
course, anytime.
We hope that all of you have a great Wednesday afternoon, and until next time.